being your own business owner, how does that affect your own medical insurance?
I'm about to pop off. That's a fire question.
Cody and I disagree on health insurance, but
here's the reality. I'm not joking when I say that marriage has always been a backup plan. That's not a joke at all. Marriage can be a logistical transaction and issue. A lot of the successful entrepreneurs that I know have employed wives with exceptionally good health insurance, and that's the reality.
Is it worth my time to build a business immediately or within marketing first?
People don't want to hear this, but I think the reality is that if you know zero about marketing in the first place and you go straight to building the business, you're going to find that it's going to take you just as much time as if you went into marketing and then jumped and started the business. You're the kind of person who can sit at your computer for 16 hours a day and pound it out. Well, there you go. You don't need to go get a job in marketing. You can do this and figure it out yourself.
Did you pick your niche because you knew it would be more profitable than something else? And would you ever change it? No, it was dumb luck. We've talked about adding niches. We've never talked about changing our niche.
Yeah, changing is like not a great word.
It sounds like you failed.
Everybody wants a magic bullet when it comes to niche selection. They want us to tell us, hey, this is how you're going to find the magical one for you. The truth is, bash your head against the wall. Wait for some sort of magical moment to come.
We also don't want to add a new niche until the lawn care and landscaping segment is completely automated by internal labor. So like we've got somebody internally that's selling and closing, somebody that's managing the accounts, that's doing just operational stuff. We don't want to do that until we feel like we've saturated the lawn care and landscaping niche to where we're doing multiple millions. And just doing that in another niche, it's just a lot of work. It's like starting up another business. Usually what I find is people start and they join the agency space because they're told they can make really good money and a lot of money in it. And
that's just wrong. People need to hear that too. If you want to make good money, who is like, hey, marketing, that's where you go. There's so many other places where you can work a lot less and make much better money.
So Lauren has a coworker who reached out to me a couple times, one in person when I was just there, and then two over email to ask me some questions about, starting an agency and just kind of the digital marketing space in general. And I had been like asking her to send these questions over to me, and Lauren had been like, "Yeah, just send questions," and then it took forever. So Teresa, if you're listening to this, you should have done it sooner. But that's okay. She sent over the questions that she had for all of her agency questions, and it was really, really detailed, like a lot of really good questions. And as I was reading them, I kept thinking to myself, I feel like we should do a whole podcast episode on this because these are really good.
Mailbag episode. Here we go.
Mailbag.
That's what TMBA calls it, right? Tropical MBA. They have hey, here's the mailbag. We just answer questions that people send in or whatever. So
I don't know.
It sounds fun.
I don't listen to them.
You've listened to them. You've literally.
Yeah, but only the ones you send over to me.
That counts, right?
Yeah. You actually listen to them, though. They're your homies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah. But I feel so bad for the listener right now because they're like, Jake's sick. Like he's not like spry. Like he normally is. Or maybe they prefer. Maybe they're like, finally, he's not saying stupid stuff.
Yeah, maybe you're overestimating how much they care.
That's true. All right. Well, let's jump into the questions because these are really good. I did, for what it's worth, I did respond to them in writing and I went very detailed. So I probably won't go as detailed in this episode, but I think just a general sense and also getting your perspective on this too would be on some of these questions would be really good too.
Yeah, because I didn't respond at all. It was just
Did you even read it?
No. Did it go to me?
Yeah, I forwarded it to you.
Oops. Sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, sorry. No, honestly, sometimes some of the ones that come in, I responded to one recently.
Yeah, it was on the form fill from the website.
Yeah, and honestly, I just said look, nothing I say is actually going to help you. Which I don't. We'll just get started because I'm sure that my feelings about advice will come out, which I've mentioned it before. And there's that article by the All about how advice in general, I'm not a huge fan of as we have run a podcast giving advice at times.
I think we've talked about it on this before too, on this podcast. How you feel about advice?
We can just start that way. I don't repeat myself because I'll probably just say it
All
again
right.
anyway.
All right. Okay. So, number one, I don't know if I should read the whole things or just the question part of it.
Just do the question, right?
Okay. So, here, how did you learn more about building websites and utilizing SEO? What would you focus on learning first? So, between the two, websites and SEO, um, I said I started learning how to build websites when I worked at the agency with you at Mud. I started like an entry level client services position, and then eventually I got into a position where I had to report on a lot of stuff like for our clients, and I didn't have a lot of backup or help. So, I oh cough. So I had to like learn how to get into the back end of a WordPress website and just kind of edit it and modify it a bit. So when I went on my own, I knew how WordPress worked, but the real challenge became actually setting it up from nothing. And that's when I learned a lot more just on my own. Um, in terms of like, is it which one should I focus on learning first? Or I guess back up for a second. The question for like how like where should I go to learn? If I knew absolutely nothing about SEO and I needed to like learn from like a beginner's course, I would honestly follow and read like Neil Patel and Brian Dean from like now I don't they're not like they're not people that like serious SEOs follow anymore because they the stuff that they have is like very basic and very foundational, but it's like well written and well produced content for beginners. So
I don't know what Brian Dean's up to. I mean, he used to have really advanced stuff especially when it came to link building. But I don't, I don't know. I haven't paid attention in a long time. The only person I pay attention to is Glenn. Glenn also runs. It was Viper Chill. Now he's doing Detailed. I mean, that guy's hardcore.
Dude, this
Um,
okay. So this is a callback to episode 73, this last episode. Because you're like, I'm not going to tell anybody who I pay attention to in SEO, but then you just did.
well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Now, for real, if you're serious, but listening to him isn't like, oh, I don't know. It's he writes with the assumption that you already know a lot of what's going on. So if you are a total newbie, you might find it interesting, but you're not gonna know what. Like if you know nothing, then a lot will go over your head. But yeah,
Yeah.
he's got cool stuff.
I said like from an experience perspective, like after you are familiar with like Neil Patel and Brian Dean, and I think even like SEMrush has some like SEO videos. HubSpot has some SEO content that's pretty good too. But now I just primarily follow like Barry Schwartz and Joy Hawkins. Joy Hawkins owns an agency in Canada called Sterling Sky, but she's like very well researched too. So, um, I mean, Barry Schwartz owns an agency as well, but the other three people that I recommend are, I don't know, I always pronounce his name wrong, probably, but Gary Ilias, Matt Cutts, and Danny Sullivan. All three of them work for Google. And wait, John Mueller too. John Mueller is like the main guy to follow, but
Say
the other,
Matt Cutts is out now, right? He's does he even still talk about this stuff anymore? He's working for the government, right?
I honestly don't know. I know I follow him still on Twitter, but there's a lot of old Matt Cut stuff from Google that is still relevant today. But yeah, and then the three actual publications I follow are Search Engine Land, Search Engine Watch, and Search Engine Journal. If you're learning SEO, and in two of those, I have articles. I just want to put that out there.
Say the question again. What was the question?
What is it? How did you learn more about building websites and utilizing SEO? What would you focus on learning first? So,
Okay, two questions. How? Okay,
and
you
what?
ready?
Yeah.
So for 9 months, I would go to work in my day job. I'd work like 8-ish to 5-ish, 9 to 6-ish, whatever, right? I mean, that whatever professional day job is. I'd go home. I'd fire up my computer. And then from 7 to 11, I would Google how to set up a WordPress website. What is a cron job? What
What
is
is it? I don't even know what that is.
Softaculous?
So
How to cron is a it's an automated thing that you can do with cPanel. And that's the simplest way I can explain it. But I mean, I just Googled everything that I didn't know about. And this goes into the next thing, which is what should you focus on first? You got to realize that there's an inverse correlation. Is this? I think it's inverse, so that the the less you know, like in totality, about this particular subject, you can still get started and make money quicker. But the width of things that you can do and your level of expertise is going to be minimal. So if you want, you can spend more time, like moving my hand around as if this is making sense, but it's like, I don't know. I don't even know how to directionally put this. If you put more time into education, you will know more in the long run, but you're delaying your earning potential for now. Um, and you have to decide where that cutoff is, what's important to you. If you want to push it off later still, and then really be extremely knowledgeable when you do get started. But when you do that, you're always at risk at constantly putting it off because you never feel confident enough in yourself to do the thing when you're more than capable. We just had an inquiry come in recently about that too. That's why I said when I said like I don't think any of my advice is going to help you. The person who sent in the email, they had like 11 years of agency experience already, and that's why my response was basically, "You're already smarter than Jake and I at
when
a
we
lot of
first,
things."
yeah, yeah,
Um, and you're plenty capable of doing this. Whether you do it or not has nothing to do with what you do or don't know. It's just your attitude towards figuring the rest out at that point. Um, but to keep it simple, I think if you're doing this for the long haul, you can't separate the two. You're going to have to know at least fundamentals about websites. So I would learn websites first because that quickly ties into SEO, especially if you want to do serious SEO, not just what everybody else does, where they talk about content writing. That's very basic. Everybody and their mom can write. So I would say, yeah, start with websites, move into SEO. And did I cover both of them?
yeah. I said the opposite. I said learn SEO first.
Well, there you go.
Well, yeah, and it's really situational too. Like, what do you? There's a stray cat in my mom's garden,
What color?
orange, and it's missing half its tail.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So no, I said do SEO first because, and I agree with your position too. But the reason why I said is because there's like a million CMS platforms out there. Uh, so there's Wix, there's Squarespace, there's WordPress, there's Magento, Shopify, and if you learn Word, if you decide to jump into websites, you could be in a 10-year rabbit hole before you even start to dive into the actual SEO part of it. And at some point, you're gonna need to know SEO before you learn a new platform. And learning the new platform. I mean, we're doing it right now with a Wix account. Wix has come so far in 10 years. So
Yeah, that's been a surprise.
yeah, so we took on our first Wix client, and if you know us, we don't do that. We exclusively work with WordPress. So um, we don't know Wix, but we know SEO. So all we have to do is figure out Wix, and then we're good, which is really easy. It's Wix. But I said learn SEO because if you don't have the time to like learn the technical skills to build a website, at least you can access an existing website and work on it, and then make an income that way. And that's what I did with my very first client that I had for like 2 months. He had a Squarespace website, and I just went in and I SEO'd it. And the thing about those websites is that anybody can set those up. So when you say like, should I learn websites? I would say no, because you don't really need to learn Wix or Squarespace. It's really user friendly. The only thing you really need to learn is like domains and connecting hosts. And then if you go into the WordPress rabbit hole, then that's going to be like learning a lot more about like cPanel and, you know, how PHP works.
Yeah, there's two people in two different categories here who both need to learn or I guess hear different things. And one is that if you're the kind of person who keeps putting things off because you don't feel like you know enough, then you need to listen to Jake and stop giving yourself excuses like, oh, I don't know websites, so I can't do it. You just need to get started, right? That's what those people need to hear. Now, some people are getting started too early and they don't know enough. And, for them, they're asking too much money for a skill that they don't have. And they need to slow down, go learn a little bit, and then come back and then be useful to their clients.
Yep.
How do you decide? We can't say who you are. We don't know you. So you just kind of got to, pick out yourself.
Yeah. Just got to get started. All right. Let's move on to the next one here. So, as I aspire to be a full-time digital marketer entrepreneur like yourself, is it worth my time to build a business immediately or work within marketing first? This is a two-parter. So that's part number one. Part number two.
That's already heavy, but okay.
Yeah. Part number two is if it is worth my time to work within marketing first, what positions would make the most sense? Working at a digital marketing firm? Any marketing positions? Interning for someone? It's actually a three-part. No, that's a two-parter. Yep. Okay. So first, we'll answer the first part first, which is it worth my time to build a business immediately or within marketing first? It really depends on the situation, I think, because for me and Cody, we both worked in marketing first. We worked at an agency, and then we built our business afterwards. For Marcus, our mentee, for example, he is doing both at the same time. My advice is to don't advertise yourself unless you're competent enough to deliver the service that you want to deliver. And that doesn't necessarily mean like expert confidence, because remember, I always say this all the time, and it's not your job to know the answers, it's your job to find the answers. If you just happen to know them, then great. But people are ultimately hiring you because they don't have the time to do that internally with their own business. They're focused on their business. So if you don't feel like you're like an expert, you're like mine and Cody's level, or you're Barry Schwartz level, then that's okay. But just know that you're willing to service your customer. But until then, I recommend building your business as soon as possible, because one of the things, it took Evergrow about a year to tip in terms of being recognized as a brand and getting out there. So as soon as you're competent delivering your services for one or two clients as a freelancer, start building the brand.
So we're doing these there's 3 questions and we're going one by one first. Is that right?
Well, there's 2 questions. I went back on that, but yeah, we're doing one by one first.
Okay, can you hit me with the first one again?
It's better to build a brand, your business first, or work in marketing first?
People don't want to hear this, but I think the reality is that if you know zero about marketing in the first place and you go straight to building the business, you're going to find that it's going to take you just as much time as if you went into marketing and then jumped and started the business, because you're going to have to sideload learning marketing while you're growing the business if you choose to do that anyway. So there's no shortcut around the time. There's no way to hack the time investment that's required. And again, it comes down to the individual, what kind of person you are. If you are going to, say that this requires 8 hours a day. It doesn't. It requires more than that. Especially like, early on in your building something. If you're trying to get ahead, you're always putting in more time. Well, and maybe that's just operations. Now you have to learn marketing. If you're the kind of person who can sit at your computer for 16 hours a day and pound it out, well, there you go. You don't need to go get a job in marketing. You can do this and figure it out yourself. I think you need to be honest about yourself and what kind of person that you are, and deciding whether you're realistically going to do that, or if you need to say, okay, I'm going to do this in steps or in layers. And it's not a bad thing. That's what college is. That's what formal education is. You go and get your training first, and then you go do the thing. And if you do both at the same time, there's not many fields. I'm dying too. Jeez. Okay.
You can mute your mic.
No. Oops. Sorry. I was like, Jake fixes that, or you guys could be okay with it.
Yeah.
Um,
Jake fixes that. He only spends like 3 hours cutting an episode.
um, I'll just stop there. That's good, right? I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I don't
efficient.
remember a lot of what I said. I mean, I could read it, but I'm not going to about like what I said back to her. But I will say this too. I think I'm going to take the position of I think you should work somewhere first, because the only reason I think people would want to start an agency before working at an actual agency is because of superficial financial needs. And
Agree.
yeah, so you're doing it, if you love marketing, then it doesn't matter whether you're doing it for yourself or you're doing it for a company. And if that's what you want to do, but if you're more in it to just be an entrepreneur and do your own thing, that's fine. But usually what I find is people start and they join the agency space because they're told they can make really good money and a lot of money in it. And
That's just wrong.
yeah,
People need to hear that too. Like if you want to make good money, who said? Who was like, hey, marketing? That's where you go. Like,
it,
there's so many other places where you can work a lot less and
it
make much better money.
because it's
It's
that
not with
10K
skills.
MRR thing that gets like spouted out all the time, where it's like you get 5 clients, you only need 5 clients at 2K a month. And what they don't realize is like, yeah, but when you don't have a defined service, you're not an expert in your service, you don't have like your processes outlined. Those 5 clients last 2 months. And you can lock them into a contract, but if you provide awful services and they're paying 2K a month, like you can be prepared to be threatened with loss or lawsuits.
How many
So
total questions are we dealing with here? I just realized if we're trying to pace this out, like,
yeah, I think it's 10. 10.
okay, what's the
So
second part?
the second part is what position. If it's worth my time to working with marketing first, what position makes the most sense? Do I work for a digital marketing firm? And what position? Interning for someone? Um, I think I said whatever you want to learn. And I actually don't think I answered this part in the actual. Oh, I did. I said, yeah, it's really whatever you want to deliver. So if you want to deliver SEO, try to find an entry level SEO position. They're out there, and especially if you do a little bit of your own SEO research, and as long as you know the keyword, like the buzzwords, then you can get an internship or an entry level position. If you listen to the episode that we had with Alec, it's like in the 50s, I think. Um, and I think it was just after we came back from Japan. But you listen to that episode, and he got an internship in the PPC team just because he knew a couple buzzwords, and now Alec is a Google Ads
Wizard for sure.
wizard. Yes. So if you feel like you excel in SEO just by starting on your own, I mean, my advice is probably get on the PPC team and learn that. If you want to exclusively offer SEO, then maybe just get on the SEO team and see how things are operationally done. I wasn't on in like a channel team. I was just a client service rep or account executive, so I was on the client facing side, which is super helpful for me and Cody partnering up because Cody wasn't on the client side, and Cody did SEO and PPC at different times. But um, this is why in Evergrow I deal with all of our clients and those
Yep.
needs because that's where my work experience lies.
Yeah, you got to match up your skills with what you're going to be doing, right? I mean, I don't do. I can do. I hate it. It drains me extremely quickly, and it's not a good use of my energy. And I don't mean that in a selfish way. I mean that also for Jake's benefit as well. You don't want me talking to clients as much as possible, and I lean into my strengths, which is why I went into SEO, switch teams to PPC, that sort of thing. Um, okay, just say the question one more time so I give as straight answer as possible. I'm trying to like not be a politician. I'm trying to give
Yeah.
as direct as
If you want to learn
responses as
marketing
possible.
before you get into business and you work for an agency, which position is better? Or is it better to intern?
Doesn't matter. This is one of those questions that smart people ask when they really just got to get stupid for a minute and let themselves do something. Um, and I mean that in the nicest way, because I see lots of extremely smart people who ask these types of very smart questions, and they really just have to let themselves stop being smart for a minute and just do the thing. And then that here is, well, if you don't have a job in it at all, the first thing you have to do is get a job. I mean, apply for all of them. It doesn't matter. If you have nothing, you're working with zero, apply for SEO, apply for PPC, apply for a general, do social. It doesn't matter, right? Just get in there. If you're working with zero. So that's the sort of thing. And you can be more, it's not to say I'm not saying it's a bad question, but I think most likely when people ask that sort of thing, what they're doing is they're holding themselves back by coming up with these questions they are very smart. But what you should do is just go apply to the job, go apply to lots of the jobs, and then go find one and then get started, because it's much easier for us um, to give more directional advice when you say, I'm working in this and I want to go do this now, as opposed to I want to get into this. Okay, we'll go do it.
Mhm. Yeah. We have an episode on that. I'm just doing it rather than like waiting and trying to plan too much.
Yep.
Okay, we'll go to 3. Already at 30 minutes. Gonna go 3. Um, okay, so the next one is I do not have health insurance through my parents anymore, so having a job with that benefit is a must. This is going to apply mostly to our US based audience. Being your own business owner, how does that affect your own medical insurance? Likewise, if you had full-time employees, is it hard and or expensive to provide that benefit to someone else?
I'm about to pop off on this.
so so I said it's a little situational because I still have my full-time job and that's where I get my health insurance from. Also, Lauren and I are in a domestic partnership in Minnesota. So even if I leave my full-time job, I still have health insurance from her work. Um, Cody, you get health insurance you get the student health insurance. So
I
it's a
do.
little bit different there. But there was a situation, there wasn't a period in time where one, you needed to consider the health insurance when you jump ship. And then two, we also had a full-time employee that was looking at needing health insurance as well.
Yeah.
And based on our quotes, it didn't look like it was like super absorbently expensive. It looked like it was like, I can't remember. It was almost like $200 to $300 a month per employee for like a good
Yeah, it
plan.
was going to be under 400
Yeah.
for like really stellar insurance, but we were at the time, neither of us were over 30 either. So
Yeah.
that starts to crawl up the older you get.
Yeah. So I'd say it's not super expensive unless you're like just starting out. If you're just starting out, then it can be a little expensive. But um, yeah, I mean, you're probably going to have to budget health insurance into your own personal expenses when you're starting an agency if you don't have a job on the side. But I mean, I recommend listening to the episode. I think it's in like the first 15 or so episodes. It's okay to grow slow, because in that episode we talk about keeping your full-time job so you can have those benefits and make sure that you're stable and secure while you're building your agency, so you can get to a point where providing health insurance for your own company or your own agency isn't detrimental to pay for.
Yeah, you can't, it's extremely hard to talk about this in a non-political way because it's a political issue. Um, I think that,
Well, I feel like I just did.
yeah, and not all, I mean, but she could come back and say, okay, but now what? Seriously, like, give me the actionable things that I can do at this immediate moment in my life. What project this out, and then what is this? How is this actually going to look for me in reality? And I think that I know lots of people in various positions. The fact is, this holds people back, and I wish that it didn't, because there are a lot of people who would otherwise be exceptional entrepreneurs that are limited because of this, because it's a hindrance. And I wish we had a solution for it. Here's the reality of what people do. I'm not joking when I say that marriage has always been a backup plan for health insurance. That's not a joke at all. And uh, it's I talk about it just like that because there's especially in American culture, there's a distinction of like, oh, marriage is this thing, and then logistically, health insurance is this thing, and marriage it can be, it's a lot of things, but fundamentally can be a logistical transaction and issue. I'm not saying all around that it is, because it shouldn't be, but um, it can be a very important one. And I'm beating around the bush to say that a lot of the successful entrepreneurs that I know have employed wives with exceptionally good health insurance. And that's the reality. I went to school and got great health insurance, and I've been taking care of my health more than I ever have because it's the cheapest that it's ever been to do so. When it comes to providing your own health insurance for entrepreneurs that are American, uh, some leave the country and live in other countries and take advantage of their health insurance. They go to Thailand, right? They go to Southeast Asia, which is still cheaper all around than living here while operating a business here with having an American client base. And all of this is very early stage, though. Eventually, and this is the thing to know, that there is eventually a break. You hit a point where the expenses of your health insurance and benefits package just becomes a line item on your list of expenses, right? It's like, we have to do this. It is important, but it's just a number that's accounted for. Early on, it's very expensive, and it's like, oh, this is debilitating almost. But you hit the point where you say, look, HubSpot costs this each month. Health insurance costs this each month. It's just another expense that has to be paid for, and you have to take care of it. The important thing is getting your business to that point as quick as you reasonably can without going insane. All of this to say, work your job with benefits, go home, put in the extra time, do that until you're about to go insane. And then once the money is good enough that you can make a jump and have a solution for your health insurance, whatever that is, do it, and then work your ass off even more so that it's not a problem. And that is the American way. End speech.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my solution is easy. Keep your day job until until you can jump. I mean, that's what I did, but I was also fortunate that I had a partner too. So like, I think partnerships are really great in that they allow you to lean on the other person. And on, I'm kind of a reformed entrepreneur now because I feel like I don't want to do another thing alone. Because I made far less strides alone than I did with you. And there's been a lot of things that I've been able to let you take care of, where like I can focus on my personal life, working a full-time job and still keeping things going. And now I'm in a position where I don't need that anymore. Now I'm just capable of doing it, because even if I left my full-time job, based on our current internal capacity, we couldn't grow any faster. So I would just be sitting on my ass most of the time. So, all right, let's go to the next one.
Sorry, I popped off. That was a fire question. Man, it makes me.
Cody's getting political. Cody and I disagree on health insurance, but that's okay. We still
we both agree that it's a problem.
Yeah, that's true. It is a problem, but yeah. Okay, next one. Where are we at? Okay, 4. I know you had an episode on the importance of picking a niche, and you had briefly discussed it when I had met you in person. I want to understand more about the importance of choosing the best niche for me. I mostly just said listen to episodes 2 and 40. So I'm not sure if she made it to episode 40 yet, because that's when we talk about how to pick a specific niche. And episode 2 was just like the importance of it, which is kind of what she had referenced in here. So, I mean, my advice, just to keep it brief so we can move on to the next more important ones, listen to episode 40, because every answer that we're going to give right here is going to be in episode 40.
Yeah. everybody wants a magic bullet when it comes to niche selection. Like they want us to tell us, hey, this is how you're going to find the magical one for you. The truth is, bash your head against the wall and
Yeah.
wait for some sort of magical moment to come.
We
It's not
actually talked
easy.
about it a little bit in episode 73 with, when we talked about Matt Diggity, she said, be passionate. He says, you don't have to be passionate in your niche. I think you gotta have passion for wanting to be in the niche rather than being passionate for the niche. So listen to that one too, episode 73.
Yep.
This is a kind of a piggyback. So this is part 2 of that same question. Why did you pick your current niche, and would you ever change it? I'll go on. It goes on. I want to stay within the beauty industry for my niche, and I originally wanted to market to estheticians and med spas.
It's a great
However,
one. Do it.
yeah, med spas is a bit oversaturated with a bunch of fake gurus, so just be aware of that. I realized many of them utilize social media more than anything else. Their websites are through Square, which is used for convenient checkout too. When an industry uses social media marketing, the most is it worth targeting them for website builds and SEO? I do not want to do social media. So let me break this question down. Would we ever change our niche? And also, um, what if you primarily use social media to market and they don't want to purchase SEO or Google Ads? So answering the first one first, would we ever change our niche? We've talked about adding niches. We've never talked about changing our niche.
Yeah, changing is like not a great word. I feel like
Yeah.
for this, because it makes it seem like, oh, we have this niche and now we're going to do a different niche. And I feel like that's, Jake, what do you think? How would you answer?
It sounds like you failed, honestly. Like you either made a bad decision to choose that niche, or like you made a bad name for yourself and now you're failing, so now I need to change. The first one is okay. If you feel like you picked a bad niche, that's okay, as long as you actually gave an effort to it and you put in a year's worth of work into it. Or if you get like 6 months into it and you're like, I hate this niche, like I hate the people in it, I hate the industry, that's fine too. You can leave. But if you don't get a client in 6 months in a certain niche, I don't think that justifies you being, you niche shopping, and that being your only justification for that. We've talked about adding other niches like roofers and other types of construction or contracting niches, but we're not ready to actively seek that. We don't want to do that until we feel like we've saturated the lawn care and landscaping niche to where we're doing multiple millions. And when it sounds like a lot, when you project that out based on the current market and the saturation right now, that's totally feasible. We also don't want to pick a new niche or add a new niche until the lawn care and landscaping segment is completely automated by internal labor. So, like, we've got somebody internally that's selling and closing, somebody that's managing the accounts, that's doing just operational stuff. Because it took a lot to really find our claim in the landscaping niche. Getting published in industry magazines, learning the industry terminology, getting an industry podcast, building those relationships, and just doing that in another niche, whether it's completely unrelated or semi-unrelated. It's just a lot of work. It's like starting up another business. We could go into roofing right now and just find roofers out there by doing cold outreach, but we're never going to have the claim in that industry that we have in the lawn care industry if we don't do the work that we did for the lawn care industry. And I think once you start doing that, you start building kind of like a paper agency. Like it's just one that it can crumble really easily. And I don't think ours can, because our brand is so strong.
Yeah, change the niche. Probably not. It's not to say we're not opposed to new niches. The right person came along, sure.
We take clients in other niches all the time. We don't, like we had
we
a,
we do local services. I mean, that's
yeah,
you can push it up to that, because really, as a strategy, that's what it is, and we've done beyond that too.
yeah, we had a professional home organizer use our services for a while, and like we didn't look at each other and go, we should get into this niche. We were like, oh, this is a unique use case, but we're not going to put our effort into this because we don't care about home organization. So, and we didn't look into the market that heavily because we were focused on our own. Okay, ready for part 2 of that?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. I've realized many of them utilize social media more than anything else. Their websites are through Square. This is used for convenient checkout too. When an industry uses social media marketing the most, is it worth it? Is it worth targeting them for website builds and SEO? And she doesn't want to do social media. I told her, who cares what they're doing right now? Does it work? Like, there's all of our competitors run social media for landscapers, but we know that Google Ads is better than social media in terms of the amount of leads you get, the close rate, just everything. And for
Oh, can't hear
oh,
you.
sorry,
There you
I raised man. I was waiting for Lauren. Just came home. I was waiting for her to set her bag down because it's noisy. Um, but it's if you uh, if everybody does social media marketing and they don't know any better, then how would they know that Google Ads and SEO isn't going to work? You have to actually do that first. Um, Additionally, like the other part of that is Square. Like she's saying, all of them use Square as a website. So I just Googled and I looked
Yeah.
like med spas near me. I didn't find a single Square website. So
I think they use it as a CMS almost. I don't know if it's necessarily like, I don't think website is necessary because okay, my cousin
mhm.
runs, I guess you could call, I don't know, almost a med spa. Maybe not quite that far. But I built her website, and then like the scheduling aspect is all managed on, that they're different for, there's, it's a whole thing, right? But I know Square is one of them where it can be individually managed, I think, with scheduling and that sort of stuff. But I don't know. I'm not, I know Square does that. I don't know about their website part, but I know that sometimes they're split. You can have the website and then you can have the scheduling, schedule builder, and that can be separate. I might have had a point with this, or I might have just been clarifying. I don't remember.
Well, I said you can integrate things from Square into like a WordPress website, or probably even into a Squarespace website. But that doesn't mean everybody uses a Word or a Square website. And when we first entered the scene, a lot of our clients use GoDaddy websites. And well, I don't want to use a GoDaddy website, but you can find those integrations and you can build them through whatever website CMS that you want. And just because an industry is doing something now doesn't mean that's the way they should be doing it, or that doesn't mean that's the best way to do it. Additionally, only the ones that you're seeing right now are using Square or are using social media, but um, you're also seeing ones that aren't using Square, or you're not seeing ones that aren't using Square because they're probably not. I don't know if they're ranking. Maybe you're not seeing them. Um, you also don't know if they're doing SEO because you're just seeing things on social rather than actually like looking at the SEO of these sites. And also, if SEO is bad on those sites, then that's a huge opportunity for you. And but yeah, I don't know where I'm going with this one, but I just thought
Yeah, I don't
at the end of
think
the day,
that
who cares what they're doing?
I don't know the niche. I don't know what the reality is. I don't know what it looks like. I know that social is big for that sort of thing. Um, so if you don't want to do it, doesn't sound like a good niche for you. Or you need to accept that sometimes, you have to learn the new thing that you don't want to do because it's necessary for the viability of your business. Um, and you can kick and scream and complain and then suck it up and then do it. That's what I always do. But yeah, be more conscious about that early on. That way you don't get yourself in a bad place where you're living a life that you don't want to be. But yeah, there's a balance with it.
What it comes down to for me is do the keyword research. If you want to do SEO, you want to do Google Ads, do the keyword research. And if you see significant volume with low competition, then there's a huge market for you. Um, if there's very low search volume, in the niche that you're trying to choose, then yeah, maybe social media is where you need to go. So yeah, my advice on that one. Okay, what's the next one here? Okay, did you pick your niche because you knew it would be more profitable than something else? My answer said no. It's the answer number one in episode number 40. So it was no, it was dumb luck. Like I picked landscaping and lawn care because I saw an opportunity for landscaping and lawn care business owners to um, utilize better SEO strategies for their Google business profiles, and their websites look terrible. And every website I went to, I was like, this sucks. It could be better. And so that's just a gap that I found in that market. And I also noticed there were tons of landscapers around me, which means there are tons of landscapers everywhere. So there was a little bit of thought gone into it. I'm like, there's a big opportunity here, but I didn't think about the profitability aspect of it. I just figured they're business owners. And that's probably where most of the people are at. But I told her that if we were to pick another niche, we would definitely consider the profitability and the market cap of the industry. So, like, we probably won't go into gyms. Um, and I know there's some agencies who are really successful with gyms. I know, like, Alex Hormozy did gyms, and he did really well. And that's great. That's not to say you can't be successful in a niche. It's just I'd rather play my odds with market caps.
Is there a
And
Mosey guy that we were messaging back and forth where I said like I couldn't
no, that's
remember his
Iman
name?
Gaji. I know it's the
Ah,
same. It's the same like sounding last
yeah.
name.
I was like, I couldn't remember his name. I go, Armani? Gandhi?
Armani.
You know?
Did the wavelengths of me coughing and laughing at the same time look funny?
Yeah, no, but for that question, I didn't select the niche. Jake did. I joined him. I have nothing to say.
All right.
I don't do niche selection. So
Yeah. All right. We gotta blast through this. Oh, this could be a two-parter too. I don't know. Okay. 5. Partnerships are ideal, but only with the right person. Without Cody as your partner, what limitations would you have in the overall growth of your company? What would you have? What would you have to learn to do alone? I
this is
brought you
great.
in.
I'm stoked for this one.
I know. I brought you in because of the PPC stuff. Like I needed that. I think operations. I felt like I could have done on my own, but looking back, I I don't think I could have done them as well or as fast or as scalable. And so there are a lot of things that I'd have to learn how to do on my own, like eventually get a lawyer and figure out how to LLC. And granted, like we do that now, but like you brought the lawyer connection and you brought the account, you look for the accounting, you do all the research in terms of operations. And I'm really good with clients. I'm really good with SEO and like just doing that. But then you are like more technical, the analytical, setting up like emails and domains and migrating websites, like the reseller account. For it, I had no idea there was reseller hosting. I was just like, hey, client, get your own hosting and I'll build it on there. Like that's what I was doing. And then you brought the reseller aspect and templatization and all of that, and that was huge for scalability. So I would just say like operations, making things smoother, faster, and scalable,
Yeah,
and Google Ads.
you flip it around. Like say it, but I want to hear it with your name instead of mine.
Oh, okay. Partnerships are ideal, but only with the right person. Without Jake as your partner, what limitations would you have in the overall growth of your company? What would you have to learn to do alone?
Okay. Without Jake, the business wouldn't grow. Period. Case closed. I mean, it would slowly dwindle because I always ride with my foot on the brake, not on gas. So um, there are times when that initially appears okay, but the fact is, or the reality is that um, things will stay level for a moment and then they'll slowly start to trickle down. So without Jake, there is no business. The business doesn't grow. It slowly dies like a candle in the wind or something like that. Um, what would I have to
How
learn?
poetic.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm very honest, and there's a life that I would live that's me not in an agency, and without Jake, I don't do an agency. That's what it comes down to. I just wouldn't do this. There's other things that I would do. I do. There's some like minor micro business ideas that I have that I mentioned before that I want to do solo, just as like half fun, half test to see what I am capable entirely by myself. These are future things. But then also apart from that, I mean, I certainly don't want a big team without Jake. So I would go do something that I'm capable of doing solo by myself entirely, almost like a freelancer, but it wouldn't be in marketing at all. I've always wanted to, I like writing. I like investigative journalism, almost travel writing, that whole world, and translation. And I'm finding more interesting, even though I hate probably most of it. But in the right situation, that sort of thing is something I would do. But I would absolutely not learn to do Jake's things because it wouldn't go well for me. That's why I lean on him.
It's operations. Your operations without growth. I'm growth without operations, and both fail. So, and some people are unicorns. Some people can do both, and that's amazing.
It is amazing.
So, if you're one of those people, that's awesome. I'm proud of you. I think we should turn this into a two-parter.
Okay.
Because we still got 4 questions left, and they're big.
Oh, okay. I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
I don't even know what they are, so you say so.
Well, they're going to be a surprise then, because why not? So, yeah. All right, cool. Well, we'll end it here. Hopefully I sound better next time we record. I also want to know what I sound like too. So
you sound great.
Thank you.
I've been trying to like yell into the microphone too, because we had to I changed the Shure mic settings from near to far because Jenny's been audible in the background. So now I feel like my wavelengths are like little scratches on the meter tracker thing. So if people are like, why is he yelling this episode? It's not because I'm angry or I'm in a different mood. It's because I'm trying to be visibly heard on the little tracker guy.
Yeah, I know how you feel. Usually I'm the small one. But it looks like Lauren, is that Pancheros? Oh, that's great because we don't have a Chipotle here in Iowa. In Cedar Falls,
Chipotle.
Iowa.
Yeah,
not
okay.
in Cedar Falls, Iowa.
We got one in Iowa City,
which I think is better. I think Pancheros is better than Chipotle. She's giving me the stink eye right now.
Pancheros is good.
I think it. No, I think it's great because they mix the burritos. Which Chipotle
actually, I'm saying this, I don't even know what it actually is. I walk by it, and to me, it's just no. There's one in Iowa City that I walk by, and I don't know what it because I think I've been there once.
Wait, you're talking about Pancheros?
I don't know. I can't remember. Want me to Google it right now to find out?
It's the same restaurant,
but they have different names.
Yeah, I mean they're different companies, but they literally offer the same stuff.
Yeah, and that's why I've never really known.
It's just like a burrito or like a taco or bowl. Where you like it's like the Subway for Mexican food.
Like you're just not Panda Express, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean it's like Panda Express too. I mean they have all the food behind the thing, and then you say that you want all this in your burrito. You build your own burrito, and then
it's Pancheros. It's not. I thought it was. Yeah, it's Pancheros.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so that makes sense why I went there one time.
Chipotle's big in like metro areas, but then like we get Pancheros, and I think I just like it better because they mix it better. Every bite is like a perfectly mixed party burrito. Where like you bite into a Chipotle burrito, and it's like, oh wow, that was nothing but beans.
I like they have the smushy thing. It looks like
it's called Bob. No, it's not. Yeah, it's called Bob. I think they call it Bob. Yeah.
It just looks like it's making an instant pancake. It just takes the dough thing and then
takes the dough.
Lift it up and you're like, whoa, pancake.
Those are cool.
Yeah, I'd take one.
All right, we should go. All right, everybody.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah. Well, tune in next time for part 2 of all these questions. So, but as for now, thanks for listening. See you next time.
See ya.